Me? Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ravon Unfiltered. We are so happy to have you here today. I have a wonderful show here we're going to keep it in the family. We're going to keep it business. We're going to keep it family. And we're going to keep everything copacetic, okay? About as best as we can. But today I have Priest. He is such a wonderful guy here. I know him on a personal level, but you guys are going to be able to dive in and get to understand what he does for a living, how he balances his life between family and business, and still also keeping yourself spiritually grounded. Because being in the industry, we all know, if you ain't standing on nothing, you're gonna fall for everything. But we'll get into that. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Priest, and if you can please give us an introduction of who you are, and I got some questions for you today, sir. So hopefully you can answer some things for me, and we're going to have a good time. So everybody check out Mr. Priest, and I'm going to let him go ahead and speak.
Okay, so I am from Augusta, Georgia originally. I'm an A&R of Atlanta City Records. CEO is Jarvis Welch, but everybody know him as Paid Jake. What we do is we get artists signed. One of our business partners, Jamez Hall, he created an app called HitStreams, and what it does is it allows you as an artist to put your music up so you cut out the record labels and you can get paid for your streams. That way you won't have to end up going to a Diddy party to get your money. So basically, it's a safe environment for artists to grow. If you have any events, you can post it on your page, and you can actually network with other artists. One of our best features is it has an AI that explains to you about the industry, about the Diddy situation, stuff like that, stuff that you need to be aware of. So yeah, that's it. So, that's in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm here in Augusta. I have some connections around here, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram at priest_DA_Don74. We could chop it up.
So we got your Instagram, we have your app. So if we're looking for the app, I know you was discussing with me before that there's a code and different things like that. And how do we get to your app? If you can explain that to our listeners and our viewers that may be chiming in right now.
You can download HitStreams, the app. You can sign up on HitStream through your web browser, and you can also use my code in all caps, PREIST, and it will give you a free 30-day subscription, and after that is $10 a month, or if you choose to get any of the other packages, that'll be totally up to you.
So I'll make sure that I put that for everyone to see. Also, the link inside of the description. So for those who are listening in and would like to know how to get to this platform to put your music out there, so you do not have to go to any or deal with anything that will be indecent or against your own nature, just to have a little bit of, exposure. Nobody should have to go through that. So, it happens in the world, and I'm glad that there's avenues in ways to make revenue in safe places like such. And I know the reason why I put my hoodie up after you said the Diddy thing, because I was like, I be trying to hide from this topic because unfortunately I may know some people personally. I may have worked for some people personally. Those things are interesting to see. Plus, on a different note, it's more unfortunate to find out that it's just not women dealing with this situation. So a lot of times in the entertainment field, the metoo movement went through. The fellas should have stepped out too. I know it. See, that society looks at things different. If you're a male being treated a certain way, it's just this thing. You're this type of person because this has happened to you. If a female, if we go through it, it's on both ends, it's very stressful for each party. I feel like it's unfortunate that there's not, a clear transparency that hurt is hurt, abuse is abuse, being exploited is exploitation, no matter what race or sex you are. So there is a lot that I feel like everyone should have been able to take advantage of with just trying to, get their voice out there, because on the side of being an artist, we know how it is, me especially, because that's a whole nother story I will get into on a separate podcast in full detail of how the industry does women, for one, what I went through and why I stopped doing music, the way I was doing music, and why I decided to move forward how I do with everything now. If it's not me on the header, if I'm not the person receiving royalties, if I'm not, like, I don't deal with that. And a lot of people like 2 Chainz, like, I always commend people like that, because people don't understand the struggle and the hard work. This man started with this at like 40. He decided, okay, I'm gonna get into the rap game, and then he ate. He didn't have to do none of that stuff because he knew the game. I'm back in 20. My friend who was a part of Sony, which we're still looking for, he used to do distribution. He used to tell me how the game was. He's like, an artist come in. Yeah, I know you made that look. We're still looking for him. We haven't seen him in years. But unfortunately, with the industry, there's certain levels to get to certain places. There's certain things you have to do to get certain levels. And you have to be a humbled individual to understand that what price am I willing to pay to get whatever result I want. Some people are okay with that price. They're literally going there. I know plenty of them. Child, this is what I do. I pimp them. We gonna pimp each other. You ain't gonna be just, there's so much that we can dive into on that, but we're just gonna leave it at that because
Oh
there's
yeah.
plenty of million of people talking about it. And then again, I will have a more disclosure on my end with my experiences as an artist. And why I move differently now. And even with the podcast and the stuff that I'm starting, and why, if anybody saw that I had a lot of traction in 2012 and then I stopped in 20 when I got to Atlanta, there's a reason for that. There's a lot that has happened. So
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you got into this, because had I been wanting to, let's say if I want to do a one hit wonder, I'm going to go through your system. I'm not going
Yeah.
trying to pit. And plus, the way that technology is, everything's AI based now. Like, you're crazy if
Mhm.
you think even music companies are like kind of obsolete. The record label people are grabbing at straws. They're being given horrible talent that do sign up, that they have to cultivate and gear up all these artist management and grab all of this, pay for this type of platform so they can get views and stuff like that. We all know how the game is.
And
It's
that's
bought.
something that, yeah, that's something that I wanted to chime in on too, because I've been in this game for going on 7 years, and I see how some of the promoters do things, and I don't agree with most of them. Like, for me, I'm not in it for the money. I love music. I love people that have a passion for music. So if I see someone or hear something from someone, I try my best to say, hey, so this is what I can offer you and I can help you with. If I have to charge you, it's not nothing that I'm going to bust your head with. For example, it takes two for you to get on the radio. I'm not going to charge you $600 and pocket the $400. See, those are the things that are happening to independent artists right now. And I'm just not one of those people. If I can help you, that's what I do, you know.
That's beautiful.
I have I'm actually working with a club down here. It holds 600 people. So I'm
Which
trying to
club,
work out
child?
a
I'm gonna ask which club now.
so,
What
so
Augusta got going on down there?
it was called Some Young Ho first, and then the guy changed it to Jamming Moments. So,
What
and
up?
me and him have a pretty good relationship, so we like family. I
Bringing my
even
bracelet
invited
over
him.
here, or some young hoe? Hold up, pause. Why is he Asian? Of Asian descent?
Well, his wife She looks Asian, but she's actually Jamaican. Man, she makes the
Well,
best
a lot of
curry chicken.
Jamaicans. Ooh, you'd be
Ooh,
surprised. You go to Jamaica, you will see a lot of people that look like they probably should be in Hawaii or
right?
in
Yeah.
Japan and stuff like that, and they will speak to you
Mm-hmm.
full patois and let you know that they've been there.
Oh yeah.
One moment. All right. I am just was laughing because I was like, I'm expecting them to speak Mandarin or something like that. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
curious, like, okay, so how did this some? So I was assuming, like, okay, maybe if they're of Asian descent in their last name, you know how sometimes their spelling of how their names are, it can sound something like there be a word that says F something, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Phuc. So what's your name? Okay, I'm not gonna cuss. So what's your
Right.
name? So
Yeah.
that's what I thought at first. But if you're just telling me they was bored and they just said, "Where you at?" Like there's
Mm-hmm.
the place somewhere in Augusta. I get that. I like that name.
Right.
It's funny.
Right.
Some young hoe is gonna get a lot of people in trouble. That's all I can say. I'm glad they
So
changed the name.
so something happened there a couple of years ago. He used to let, so this is one of those stories where the younger generation messes it up for everybody.
What they
So
done
they
did.
had a situation there where somebody shot off a gun in the club and it struck somebody. Well, the owner got in trouble because the teams wasn't supposed to be in there anyway. But he's an older guy and he was trying to, hey, I'd rather for y'all to be in here than in the streets type situation. And, one thing led to another. So no
Well,
more of
see, in
that.
Augusta, when I was growing up, there used to be this teen club, or they had teen nights,
Yeah.
mulligans. Do they
Hmm.
still have mulligans out there?
I don't think so. I don't, yeah, I don't
See,
think
yeah,
so. I don't,
legally, you can't play them games. I get what he was doing. I
hmm.
get it. Like thought
Right,
process, I get
right.
it. But
Hmm.
you don't want legally. There's too many legal actions. Um,
Hmm.
is this the one
You,
that was off of Milledgeville by chance?
no, no,
Which
I
one is
forget the name of
this?
that club.
Because I know there's one club that every time somebody gets it,
This was on Bar
somebody
Street.
always gets shot. Someone always gets shot. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the one
So
on
I was
Millersville.
wondering that you know what I'm
That's the
talking
one on
about.
Millersville.
Somebody always
Yes,
gets
that's
shot.
the one on Millersville. So,
Mm.
I think the guy that owns that, I think that's Garden City now. So, hey man,
So how is
Augusta
it working
doing
for
this
him
thing.
now? So how is he
It's
able to
actually
bounce
working
back?
better.
Okay.
So, as I told him, I may have a couple of young artists. The only stipulation that he really put on me with the young artists is if he catch them drinking, which they shouldn't be drinking anyway, they got to go. And I make sure I tell my artists, if I set something up for you and you mess it up, that's on you. So don't come to me to try
Yeah.
to fix it because at the end of the day, everybody is grown. I shouldn't have to babysit you. I'm not one of those micromanaging people. You come say, hey, priest, I got an interview. Okay, make sure you are at your interview. If I set you up an interview, hey, this is the time that you need to be here. Now, if you're not there on time and you've made me spend my own money for this, from that on, whatever the situation is, you're coming out of pocket for it. I already had an artist that I was spending money behind and she stopped doing music.
That artist management stuff can be so
Oh man.
stressful and so especially when you see, and this is what I want to say to anyone who may be watching this that's interested in being an artist or is a current artist and you have representation or management behind you and a team behind you. One thing you have to understand is that it's very stressful to see someone that you see potential in. And I'm talking about when you got a good team. Like if I'm on your
Hmm.
team, back when I used to do artist management and stage management, things like that, I believed in the person that we were
Hmm.
investing in, the company
Right.
or myself. And, a lot of times when you're dealing with independent, you're the manager. Sometimes you're putting your own money up for these artists in
Hmm.
hopes that it can in turn return a profit because you believe
Hmm.
in that person. not the people that's
Right.
trying to use you and pimp you out in the industry. So for someone that is in your corner, and I know that
Hmm.
the hardest thing in being an artist, and I fight with this all the time, it's hard to kind of, you're very emotional when you're an artist.
Right.
I don't care. If you ain't know, this is why all these art rappers out here be beefing and crying and whatever. Every artist, a true artist, is in touch with their emotions. Either they have control over it or they don't.
Don't.
But the thing is, they're very emotional, meaning that they have their highs or lows. So if you're feeling down, and we got Priest over here working for you, working hard for you, things like that, you have to understand that even if you're feeling down, someone's in your corner. So today may not be your day. And I know you probably had to have one of those coaching calls where you're like, look, I know this just happened in your life, but remember, you still got talent. Remember, you still got things, you got kids to feed, or whatever your goal is, whatever the original thought behind this mission that you wanted to take in being an artist, continue with that. Do not let these moments in life that do cause stress and hurt and harm or whatever that can attack you stop you from your goal, especially if
Yeah.
you have a team. That's another
Yeah.
reason why at that moment I had to stop and doing things for everyone else. Because, I am still an artist. So, as an artist, I put myself to the
Hmm.
side to manage other artists and to cultivate other businesses and other people. And when you have people by your side that's willing to do all these things and put in the time and the energy, and like you said, your money, you ain't doing it for them for the money. You're doing it so they can
Right.
see the end results. So sometimes it takes a stronger individual, or at least look at your
Hmm.
team. A
Hmm.
lot of times when I get stressed, I
Hmm.
look at the people that I have to, that depend on me, that push me, that give me the drive and the motivation and the inspiration and constantly are there for me. Do I want to let them down? And if I decide to do something different, let's say I want to do a different type of artistry or whatever, I would still let them know, like, hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I decided to do this. Pause 1 second. Pineapples. I don't know. Is that what people say when they need a pause? Do me a favor. Your camera's not, it's like cutting your chin off. So if you could just make sure you at least have your face view, because I don't want people to just see,
Yeah.
no, a little bit. Because I don't know how it looks on your end, but I'm looking on the production side. That's perfect. Just leave it there. That's fine. Because on the,
I
I
think because
know
I'm
on the,
leaning in and out.
no, you're fine. You're fine. I just don't want you to be out of focus, especially I want people to focus on you when you're talking, give you, be able to see you and
Okay.
hear you. Um anyway, off of pineapples. So yes, being an artist is very hard, and I understand. But you are you are the company. You're the
Hmm.
Coca-Cola, you're the Nike. It's you. And
Hmm.
the team behind you is
Hmm.
pushing and believing in you. And if you have a faulty team, you got to go in there and start adjusting things. And then
Right.
sometimes even as the representation and the management and the company that's financing and doing all that, we have to drop people because of why? Why do we mainly drop people?
They're not attentive, and
To their
that's
own craft. Like, this is
and that's
you.
what I'm saying. So this is how I work, and I tell all the artists that I work with now, I can only get you paid so much by what you do. I was doing the Sukiana tour with, like I said, my business partner, the Fredo Bang tour. We set those up. So I don't have that type of power to set you up on a 30-day tour if don't nobody know you in the rest of the 29 states that we're going to. I can't reach your fans. I can't reach them. Only you can. When it comes to promotion, I promote, you promote. I promote on my end to get people to come out. That's sponsors or whatever the case may be that you need. That's my job. That's what I'm promoting for. Your promotion is for your fans and to gain more fandom. If you're not doing that, you know,
That is true. That is true.
and
You have to push
artists
yourself.
seems like they don't understand that. They act as if, oh, it's just
The
gonna come to
older
them.
school artists
Hmm.
understand that. The new
Right.
generation, It's half and half from what I see on my end because I'm now in the just the viewing side. I'm not no longer working in the industry on that level. So now I'm looking at it like everybody else. But I still have those natural talents to see certain things in people because once you're in a kind of position, so being an artist and definitely trying to get your work out there and having the proper representation and the team behind you to get the record heard. With your process, how do you make it easier for someone like me? Let's say, ain't nobody know me like that. Some people know me, like you know me. It's probably like out of probably the billions of people that's on Earth, I probably know a cool 100,
Right.
maybe a cool 100. So how can someone who has a good song that they feel like they want to market that will be good for them? How do they counter pro it? If you can explain that for me.
We have distribution deals that we do with some artists, and I hate to say it, but some of it goes through Sony. Majority of it goes through Sony. And
Hence the
sometimes,
why you was making that face.
yeah, because we kind of sort of looking for a couple of our artists too, but you didn't hear from me. But so we have Sony, and most times I would just tell the artist to put it on DistroKid themselves. That way you can cut out the middleman. Because, like I said, this is my job. This is how I make money. But if I don't necessarily, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to be proactive on your own. I don't want you to continue looking for me to do stuff for you. So I would suggest you put it on a platform yourself. So that way you can see how to do it. You can see where to do it, and you can see how it benefits you. Like DistroKid, they pay you off of streams too. Spotify, Apple, sometimes, but I think Apple you have to hit a certain amount of number of streams for you
Apple's
to,
bougie.
yeah.
Apple's real
So
bougie. You got to be
um
up there.
so it's a lot of things that comes with promotion. That's why I suggest when you do those things, you tell people where your music is, because I can't reach your fan base. I have to stress that enough. I can't reach your fan base. You as an artist, you have to reach your fan base. Once you reach your fan base, then I step in and make shows, produce shows for you so you can generate your income. Once you do, like I tell all artists, see, some artists don't understand. If you make your artist name an LLC, so if Priest pays for Frank's car note, I'm gonna just use that as an example. If Priest pays for Frank's car note, Priest can write that off on taxes.
Sure can. And you can find out more about how to do that at jmtaxinc.com, our sponsor for the evening. But yes, continue. Gotta throw that plug in real quick, real quick.
Real quick. So, and it's stuff like that that these record labels aren't telling you because they want you to continue to give them money and to see what you'll do for that 2 advance on your record.
What you gonna do for some little change? Change for some change.
So, and that's
Pimping ain't
another
easy.
thing. That's another thing people don't understand when it comes to labels and those advances. Those advances are based on you performing as an artist and your song. So if your song is not doing what it was when that label started promoting it, you have to pay them back that advance and then some on top of that. So what are you really making? Now
The
you see what
contract. It's always the
exactly.
contract. I try to tell people they get excited when they see that check. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a good manager, if you don't have a good lawyer team, that
Oh yeah.
contract could be you running off of fumes and working
Mm-hmm.
your whole life just to keep up with whatever was written in there. And those contracts are built to make you be a
Totally
slave,
dependent on them.
wholly and solely.
But if you don't pay those people back, they can put in their contract until it's fulfilled, they will be receiving your royalties for your song until that advance is paid back. Now, if you don't have people to look into those contracts, they could put your 200 that you just supposed to pay back can turn into a $500,000. Close, 75,000. That's what you supposed to pay back. You have to be careful of those things because that's what they're doing. It's not what they're going to do. That's what they're doing. So that's why you see artists running around on drugs and stuff because it messes with them mentally. All of those things. You see people talk about, well, they owe them and then they keep inviting them to parties. That's because they're selling them to people. See, these are the things that you have to look at because that is what's going on in the industry. Even with actors, they'll tell you people have them come to what's that old Sting guy? He'll have you come to his house.
You mean Joel? Oh,
Not Joel Osteen. He probably doing it
mm,
too, fake prophets. But anywho, they'll
that's
have
a
you
whole
come
nother
to
topic.
they'll have you come to their house. You thinking it's one thing, and you get there, and you'll see some other actor there, and y'all have to
Or
strip.
your manager will literally tell you, in order for you to
Mm-hmm.
go to the next stage, to clear out a debt,
Mm-hmm.
to start seeing money. But like you said, that's why these people literally run crazy. Because think about the psychological behind it.
Especially men.
You're working hard every day. You have to go and do certain things every day for what you think that you should receive profit. Then on top of that, let's say if you're a Will Smith, you're out there. Everyone knows that you're supposed to have millions of dollars and you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be happy and everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship goals, all of that. When these people are the way that I see all of it in all of industry, because I've been
Mm-hmm.
on every side, acting, industry, all of that. Like, there's so much. And it's the same game. It's like the royals have it played out, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody is their royal subjects, and all of us are court gestures, and
Mm-hmm.
we're performing and entertaining these people. There's people that literally look at people like Will Smith and say, I would like to have him at my dinner tonight. I would like to, make Will Smith, crawl to me and hand me my food just so I can say that I had him crawl. And then they'll brag about it at their next event. Oh, guess who was
Mm-hmm.
sitting in that chair? Will Smith. I had him feed my wife. Whatever the situation is. And it's
And it
very
happens.
unfortunate. So all we see is them in the movies, them happy, them doing great when their relationship is horrible, their children are being raised horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's surviving a something. They're surviving everyone's surviving the industry, but this is also what goes hand in hand when you want certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get these things without paying these prices. So there's no one in any of these industries to be 100% that has not gone through a casting couch. Not one person. Because even these big wig people will sell out their own children
Mm-hmm.
and have pimped out their own children and will continue to do it daily. That's why I feel bad for the Ushers and the Britney Spears and all of them, because people are laughing at the calamity like, oh, you thought you was it's worse, because you got to understand, Usher's not happy. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Anybody who's in Vegas
Right.
doing Vegas performing,
Mm-hmm.
you're under mind control. You're under submission. You have to do what you need to do. You need to pimp out these shows. Yes, everyone sees it as whatever, but any entertainment any entertainer knows that once you're in Vegas and you're in that lineup, it's like a never-ending slave ship.
Cycle is
You're
and then
constantly working and you're not happy. That's why he is grabbing the Alicias. He's like, oh, y'all got me out here doing it. I'm going to grab me
we
something
grab
and have me a
something,
good time.
and then they have them go get other people
Oh,
just so
yeah.
they can reach a level where they don't have to do that type stuff anymore. They'll have a
Yeah,
lackey
they
do it.
do.
So it's a lot of stuff that comes behind being being famous. I was talking with one of my guys I call my brother, and we was talking about the difference between desire and a promise. So desire is something that you have to put forth the motion to get to. If I
Hmm.
desire to lose weight, I have to put forth the effort to exercise, to walk, run, whatever, to
Hmm.
do what I got to do. A promise is just given to you. So when people die, their inheritance, which is their promise, is already given to the next person. So when the terms and conditions are met, the promise is fulfilled. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in the industry, it goes hand in hand. It's more desires than promises. If you desire to be this 10-figure superstar, there are people like Diddy, a couple of more people like the Rockefellers. Yeah, don't nobody talk about them. That can make that happen. And all you have to do is show a little leg. That's it. Just a little teensy little leg.
I want to expound smallly. And I say smallly because I have to check myself because I can go deep in these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I want to expound on the fact that if someone of a more melanated tone is
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing as the big wigs that are less melanated, what is always pushed to the forefront? Whatever we are doing.
Right.
Because
And
the sad part is, are they still talking about the Weinstein? Are they still talking about, are they still, like, yeah,
mm-mm.
it's talked about.
But
But, he still has his show. He still has his money. He doesn't have, like,
right.
they're
And
still
I was just
doing
gonna say that.
things.
I was just gonna say that. They're still nobody is raiding their house. Speaking of Diddy, nobody raided Weinstein's house. Nobody did nothing to him. The
Same
guy
thing
from
with,
Drake and Josh. Nobody did nothing to that guy. And these are grown men that are
the
finally
Drake
coming
and
out
Josh threw
telling.
me off because my
Yeah.
husband told me about that. And I was like,
I was like,
boy, when we started looking I went down the rabbit hole of him. I was like, what
mm-hmm,
is he doing?
mm-hmm.
That's why
So,
what you call him
and
is
what
completely just and he'd have lost weight. He's doing so much better.
And I was like, when Drake was telling the story of when he was at his girlfriend's house, this is how I knew he was telling the truth. When he was explaining that he was at his girlfriend's house and this grown behind man kept calling there 50, 60, 70 times. And the mother of the girlfriend finally pulled him aside and said, don't no 40-year-old man call no 17-year-old as much as he doing you. So what's going on? It's obviously something more going on than y'all going to Disneyland, just the two of you. And it still went on. Even after that, it still went on. Why? My dog could get into a fight outside my house right now. I guarantee you one of these people over here called a pound just for a little fight. And I'll be made to seem like I'm running a dog ring over here, you know?
You Mike Vick
But
now. You Mike Vick.
But you
Okay.
know, it's like, are we really free? That's the question. Are we really free? Do we really have opportunities like the rest of them? Come on now.
Hmm. And
Like,
what makes it worse is that when you get into the idea of even with the Diddy's and all of them, Diddy was abused. Diddy was ran through. Diddy
mm-hmm,
had to get to that point. And I'm not justifying nobody's action. I am not
mm-hmm,
doing that here. So let's make this
mm-hmm,
very clear. I'm a
right,
type of person where I can break down, dissect something, put it back together. I know what it is. I know how it works.
mm-hmm,
I may not agree with what it does or how it works, but
mm-hmm,
I am fully in the knowledge of it. And that's how I
right.
understand. The sad part is a lot of these people are they're repeating the cycle.
Offenders.
So offenders too.
Mm-hmm,
But the cycle starts at whatever someone did to them and told them the method. A
right.
lot of these people now, like the R. Kellys and the rest of them, that's why he was so emotional and he was so upset. He said, y'all don't understand. I'm out here fighting for my life every single day. And I'm
Mm-hmm,
sitting here trying to do all of this because he's like, yeah, he was wrong in his actions, but that's his fault. My
mm-hmm.
thing is, I've been abusing all of that. You don't see me out here. Ain't nobody saying surviving Ravon. Don't you start if you do. If you better come to me, I will. I ain't running nowhere. I'll pull
Oh
up on your
man.
house lying on me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
pull up,
definitely
queen. I'm
gonna
there.
happen.
But
You're gonna
anyway,
see 50
um,
texts. I'm a Donald Trump. It's 50 texts in 1 second. You got me bent.
I don't know. I just might get your details and get doxxed on you, and I just be sitting there in the bushes. Wait, I'm the type of person. I'll be like,
What was that you had said?
"You be in the bushes hopping out. I see you. What you said." But anyway, on a
Oh
more
yeah.
serious note, the sad part is it's just like that's where it goes. But then that's where you stop the cycle. And it's all about breaking cycles. Like if we don't break cycles, we're constantly just going to move forward. And plus anyway, I don't give none of them excuses because you had a choice. There was a fork in the road. There was left and right and wrong. You chose what you chose. This is the life you chose, as me and my husband say all the time. This is the life you chose. It's a life you live it. I love that song because it's like this is what you chose. But let's get off of the music stuff and everything because that's a horse
Oh yeah.
someone's just doing way too much with.
When this come out, I
What I
might
will
disappear.
don't you start your whole family, all of us will find you. Okay, we ain't doing
Never,
none of that.
you'll never see
And plus, this
me.
is lightweight. I know you ain't giving out no secrets, but
Not yet. Just wait.
plus you're not trying to level up in your career right now by doing a
I'm
smear
comfortable where
campaign
I'm at.
as some people are doing right now, making it look really
Real.
wonderful. Like, oh, let me. And that's one thing. It's like, okay, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about any of this emotional past digging things. If you
Mm.
notice, everybody's doing that. Everybody's so focused on the past. I'm not going to get on here on my podcast and be like, oh, this is what my mother did when I was 2 years old. I really wanted that Fruit Loops. It's because she never gave it to me. I'm upset and I'm still going to hold on to that. Like, no. Unfortunately, what everyone is doing to become relevant or stay relevant or to get out there, they're doing the negative tactic of getting people's attention and getting clout and getting that stuff out there. So instead of focusing on the future and the things that we need to try to like uplift ourselves, it's very sad that right now the energy that is focused on everyone's mind is focusing on trying to this hurt me, so let me talk about this. I'm sorry to all of the people out there trying to expose facts and truths. Where was these same truths for the past 20 years? I haven't heard nothing from you. You now, at the time that you need this push up, you're saying all of this. I have so much in my arsenal, I can make current people that are relevant call me personally and figure out where I am and be like, don't say that. Don't mention that. But why would I do that? That's stupid. If I didn't say nothing then, if I didn't go to the
Am
police,
I gonna
if
say
I didn't do
nothing
all of
now?
that, why am I trying to get attention now? The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that I'm doing like on my platforms, if I am bringing up stuff like that, is a teaching point. This is what I
Right.
learned through this process by being
Mm-hmm.
single mother, by being this, by being that. You guys also, I have a single mother song review and reaction coming up and response as a single mother during times when I was single. So for everyone still upset about the guy and his single mom, now you're single mom. Da, 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 da. I don't know if you heard that song yet, but look up single mom. It's the dude holding up diapers and he's doing a movement like that. You have to check it out because right now it's climbing up the ladder because he's speaking on some truth, but because people are generalizing. Okay, so you're talking about all single mothers. No, I'm talking about the ones that go around looking to be pregnant, telling us I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do this and that, and then wonder why they're in trouble and why. Like, there's so much
Oh,
more you
I
have to
could talk
expound
all day
upon.
about that. Oh my
Me and you both.
God, bro.
But one thing I can say is like to get upset about something on a post or to get something that someone's saying, it's like this is what society has come to. Small bits of information, explosive response. There's no really understanding, communicating, or digging into a subject to get truth before you respond emotionally. And that's where I see a lot of problems when it comes to that. But anyway, back to the other subject. So at the end of the day, it's like you have to break these chains, you have to break these cycles, you have to also learn and get into things before you start just reacting. But that's what everybody's doing. They love the negative stuff. So that's the reason of just like why all of this is at the forefront. We're not hearing about good fathers taking care of their family, running
Exactly.
business. So what I would like to
Exactly.
get into, now that we dived into all of the industry world, with
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
doing your work as an AR, what else do you do outside of that? I know you told me you have some other things that in other businesses that you do,
Hmm.
and then also, most importantly, the family dynamic of trying to balance both.
Okay. So let's see. Where do I start? So other activities that I do, I am a big fisher. I don't care if it's your mama's funeral. If I have an opportunity to go fishing, I'm going fishing. Y'all
You
can
ain't
tell
finna
me
come up
about
there with no fishing pole, no
y'all.
doggone
Hey,
uh
you can tell me
cooler
about
with your,
later.
your warm bait and all of that
That's
at
me.
my mom
I'm
at the funeral.
at the funeral. I'm there. There. Sorry for your loss,
As long as
cuz.
you clean and gut
But
and fry the fish when you're
yeah,
done,
I
I'm fine
got you.
with that.
I got you. I'm a promoter for that club that I mentioned earlier, Jamming Moments. I also work with this ministry. It's a mentor ministry. It's called The Father's Heart. And we take delinquent kids. Not all of them are delinquents. They change. It is spiritual. We take them. We take them fishing. We take them hunting. We teach them archery. Whatever it is they like to do, we do that. And we try to make a safe space for them so they can open up to us. And we create relationships with them. So if they get in trouble and the parents can't do nothing with them, they'll feel comfortable enough to come to us and say, "Hey, I messed up." And we could give them guidance of what to do next. So that's one
That's
of the
really
best
good.
things. Yeah, that's one of the best things that I would say I'm a part of right now. So, I think I'm meeting with a couple of kids today. We're gonna take them fishing out in Hepzibah, Georgia, and we do it all over the place. I know around Augusta we have Thompson, Harlem, stuff like that. Even if we have to go pick them up, we don't mind. One of the kids, he live in Aiken, and I'm gonna go pick him up later. So, and it's just teen boys because it is very important that boys be around men so they can turn into men. I
Hmm.
don't know what it is about this society that thinks, oh, I'm a mother and I can do the both parts for dad and myself. No, ma'am, you can't. Because it's certain things that that boy is going to go through that if he's not taught correctly, he's going to be on the same side you're on. Let that catch on to you. He's going to be on the same
Let that sink
side
in.
you on. So, I have a son. I have three daughters, one son, and I love my son to death. He's 2 years old, and I tear his ass up. Not because, as my wife say, trying to be abusive. No, I'm tearing his behind up so he'll know when mommy say something, that's what mommy means. If dad has to come correct you, then it's a problem. When mommy say lay down, lay down. She don't understand that if your children see you arguing about the disciplinary of them, that's going to cause a problem between the both of you, you know? So when you talk about balancing, I actually had a situation like that last night. That's why I went to
Mm.
go catch Pokemon. She told him to go lay down or whatever, and he wanted to do what Gray wanted to do. So Daddy went in there and did what he wanted to do. Long story short, you don't hear him stomping around now because you have to set those boundaries with kids. Hey, I don't care what me and your mom's talking about. You need to stay in the child's place. That means you wait until we're finished talking and then you approach us. And there's certain stuff like that that's not instilled in the kids today. That's where that program comes in at. We take you young men, they're around godly men, they will become godly men. If they don't want to choose that path, then you give them back to the world. It's just simple. You can't. So even when it comes to the industry, you can't waste time with people that don't want to do the right thing. It's the same way with kids. You don't want to, but you have to. Like you was asking me earlier about my name. My name came from me and my brother watched this movie called Superfly. So so Priest, and then it was Eddie. Now, my brother is named Solomon, rest his soul.
Mm.
So, his name is Solomon. It's not Eddie, but that's what he kept calling himself. So we became Priest and Eddie because when you saw me, you saw him. When you saw him, you saw me. No matter where we was at, if we needed each other, we were there. So that's how close we were. Now, yeah, I have other siblings, but it's not like that. It's not like that bond that a struggle will cause you two to have. So I guess we'll dive in that sometime another time. But
We'll
cause I
revisit
done,
that here. Yes, we will.
yeah, cause I done got all off the topic.
It's okay. I'll bring you back. So with the
Oh.
the fact that you are balancing the fact that you are AAR for a record label and
Hmm.
you also fish, I know you didn't mention it, you restore desk.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so cool because I love these interviews because
Hmm.
with us being afar and things like that, and I'm busy doing my business and you're doing your stuff,
Hmm.
it's such a beautiful thing for me to hear the details of the things that's in your life because I get to know a little bit more about you. Also, you get to share. But before you dive more into anything else with the ministry, is there any details for someone that may be in the CSRA, that is the surrounding Savannah River area in the Augusta, Georgia, Thompson, things like that? If I had a child that I needed to come into the ministry, how do I approach you guys, or what is the avenues to get to the help that you guys offer?
So with me, you can contact me at Frank Scott on Facebook, or you can hit me up on Instagram. Again, priest underscore the underscore Dawn 74, and I'll give you my contact, and then we'll go from there. So that's the quickest way to do it. The
Okay.
hardest way to do it is stand outside the road and hold up a red flag, and hopefully we'll see it. So.
Oh, goodness. I don't know that about that way, but we're just gonna
Yeah,
follow
so
the
we're gonna
proper
take the
chains of
easy way.
command.
We're gonna take the
We
easy
ain't gonna
way.
hold no red flags in the middle of the
Yeah,
road.
yeah. I
But
had I had a kid when I was living downtown. He passed away sadly. His mom, she had a addiction, and she let that addiction take over her parenting. Well, the
mm,
kid, yeah, it was sad. The kid, he wasn't going. I didn't know, but he wasn't going to school. And it was a couple other things, and this is just heartbreaking. So one night I get this call, and it was him, and he was telling me what was going on, and I told him I was on the way. The mother's boyfriend had beat her up, and he stepped in to help his mom. Do you know she sent him to jail? The son, she sent him to
that
jail
happens a
because
lot.
he beat her boyfriend up for beating her up. So when he got out of jail, again, he didn't let anybody know. He, he was, I guess he was tired. He ended up committing. So, because of the situation, he felt rejected from his mom. He didn't have any grandparents around, nobody. And I felt bad because I felt as though he felt that he couldn't talk to me. So, and I lived across the street from him. So it was heartbreaking. So,
That
it
has to
just
be
be
very
stuff like
hard.
that. Yeah, it's stuff like that to make you think, wow, are we really behind our people? Are we really doing what is necessary for our kids? It's stuff like that. That's why I try to keep my kids as close to me as possible. 2 weeks ago, I got them baptized because the way the world looked like, it looked like Jesus coming back. I don't know about the rest of folks, but
Rapture something. I don't know. I
I don't
don't know
know,
how it's gonna happen. I'm gonna
but
be
it's coming.
humble and
So
I'm gonna
I
just be
did what's
prepared.
best. Exactly. I did what was best for my kids. I went on here, got them baptized, got them dedicated. Now, if he don't come back with time that they have to make that choice for themselves, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did my part, so If we had more people out there like that, I think as a black community, our community would get better. I think most times it's just the lack of better judgment than anything. Because, your grandparent kept you in church. Mine's kept me in church. My mom kept me in church. And it saved a lot of our people. And some of our family members should be dead and gone. But
That is our next
somebody,
topic. Not
but
that part. Not
somebody's
that part.
prayer.
Hold on. The family part. That's not, hold on. I jumped in
I'm
too
just
quick.
saying.
I didn't know you was gonna say that afterwards.
But
Let me.
I'm
Oh,
just
let's
saying.
redo this real quick. Hold on. Because I don't want nobody calling, texting me. You said what? I said, hold on, calm down.
Oh
Wishing death on
man.
nobody. So let me do this and clean this up real quick. What I'm trying
Oh
to say
man.
is we're going to get into the small family portion of it next, and then I'll let you go here. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Feel like we in church, I ain't going to hold you up any longer. But I got one
Right.
more thing I needs to talk to you about. We would
Right.
like to get into the family aspect right here. If we can go on ahead.
I'm sorry, but I get
And it ain't got
passionate
no
about talks
sense.
like this, man.
It
It's just
is.
so much
It's
that need to
hard.
come out. It's just so
It's
much.
hard. We're gonna have to probably have a part two and part two. I can't get my words out. A
Hmm.
part two and a
Hmm.
part three with you because there's so much more to dive into. And then plus we have a little dynamic on the whole family ties things that we can really get into. And then also the immediate family, because there's two sides to it. With
Hmm.
you having to try to mentor, you're trying to handle your businesses, you're restoring desk, you're over here fishing, you're over here dealing with artists, you're trying to keep your sanity as a man in this
Oh yeah.
society, raising children as an African American man,
Yes.
which once you start traveling overseas, you start understand that people don't understand our fight and what we deal
Right.
with. People honestly are oblivious, but for the male side of things, because I'm an advocate for all of us, male and female, in unity and peace.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's so much divide in that, and with being a strong father, trying to instill discipline and rights in your children where they understand so that when they get older, they have a baseline and foundation to grow to be respectful and well-rounded individuals. With having the family aspect, because there's two sides. We're going to dig
Right.
into one real quick,
Okay.
piggybacking off of what you said.
Hmm.
How hard is it? And I think, hold on, let me find my exact wording because this one has to be said exactly. Because we was going on a whole rant one day.
Hey.
Okay. With your business, what is the hardest thing to balance out of all of it? The first question I want to ask, is it work, family, finances, or free time? Or if it's multiple things, the main focus is with being a businessman, a young African American businessman, balancing your family and your business. What is the hardest part for you out of all of it? Is it the money? Is it the family? Is it trying to do business as a black man in America? Like, if you can scale to which one is the heaviest, can you tell me which it
To
is
sum
and
it
why?
up, it's only two of those. Actually, it's three of those. It's the finances that comes with the business that comes with the family ties. And when I say that, it means, and it's like they want to have everything free, family. And then when you say, I can't do that for free, now all of a sudden your business is a scam.
Oh yeah, you
Now,
fraud. You
yeah,
fraud
so,
Frank, okay? And I'm fraud Keisha. That's
right.
how it comes out too.
So now that I'm a fraud, you push out this negative image of me to the rest of the family members who's on your side because I didn't help you do something for free.
And the
Now
sad
you
part is
messing
not
with
even
my
that
money.
they're on their side. It's the fact that they're with the air horn broadcasting negative
Hmm.
stuff. And for the person
Hmm.
that's not like me, because I don't know nothing what's going on with the world of the whole Augusta family dynamic that we have, because we have a wonderful
Mm.
Augusta family dynamic. A lot of us
Well,
has left Augusta because we was
mm,
like, I can't deal with this no more.
right.
Unfortunately, I had my personal feelings with Augusta as a whole, outside of the family
Mm-hmm.
aspect, where I felt like it was a bowl and there was a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of crabs at the bottom. And then every time I
Mm-hmm.
try to get to the top, there's something else besides the crabs knocking me back in. I had to get out of that. And it's not for everybody, because some people come to Augusta, they say, oh, I was in New York. I'm now
Mm-hmm.
here. I got my little land. I'm
Right.
comfortable. To
And
me,
I'm loving it.
Augusta's for retiring and
Mm-hmm.
Augusta is for building land. Like if I wanted land and I would get the house warranty and all of that, I would do
Yeah.
things like that. But
Right.
unfortunately, the other side to Augusta is all of our family there,
Mm-hmm.
besides the few that left. And those that are there, there's the three levels. You got the generations that before us and all of the younger ones that been
Mm-hmm.
beefing for hundreds of years.
Oh man.
And what do they do? Because that's what the main thing was. The generational drama that the
Mm-hmm.
older people feel like they have to pass down to each
Down to their
generation.
kids.
I didn't know nothing of you because of two family names that are
Right.
sisters. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm about to get into. I'm trying not to get cussed out by the ones that's living and the ones that's
Hey,
not. I ain't getting no pop-ups in my dream tonight from no
man.
Miss Hoo Hoo. We ain't gonna say no, you know who, because you look here, you little effer. I told you why I
Hey.
was here and I told you why I'm gone. Don't you mention my name. And I'll be like, look,
Right. Look here.
hey, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
man.
But the
So,
thing is this, with the generational passing down of drama, I know
right.
you explained to me recently that your experience, how do you feel about it? And how can we stop this action? And I love what you did. That's why I want to hear your point of view.
So, when you have your great grandmom, I'm just gonna go back because you know how we said we was gonna do it. So, when you have your great grandmother and your great uncle fighting over who gets the last bite of an apple. Now they have broken apart and their kids that normally plays together, they normally play together. And both of them telling their kids, oh, you don't play with them because they ain't no good. Now, that causes both of the kids to think, oh, well, we better than them. That starts to trickle down to my generation. I can't invite such and such to my cookout because they not gonna come because they mad at them. What does that have to do with me? I wasn't there splitting up no apple. I told you, I didn't even know that I didn't even know your father was one of my great aunt's sons until I was 20. And I'm 28. I never knew that because they don't carry themselves as if we're related. So if somebody is mad at somebody, they hold that for dear life. If we would just stop that, I think we would be a better as a family because all of us in this family, we have business ties. We could literally take over Augusta and it would be nothing another family could do. Like if we all put what we have together, we could
There's too
really
many
take
of
over.
us,
Too
and there's a
many.
lot of talent,
Oh man.
and it can get one depressed, to
Mm-hmm.
be quite honest with you.
Yes, very.
Um, I've
I've been there.
battled through that, where
Mm-hmm.
you see all of this and you're like, why is the Kardashians doing it? Why is all of these
Mm-hmm.
countries and these sorry, I can't think of my words right now, but other ethnicities don't have this issue. They
Right.
literally would know that, okay, this person's taking money out the trust fund. Okay, we just
Mm-hmm.
gonna give him a couple of thousand. But we at
Right.
least know that the other sibling who's working really hard, he or she is doing this, so I'm gonna make sure they
Mm-hmm.
have this amount. They level it out.
Right.
And then even if they have shortcomings or if they fall short at one time, what
Mm-hmm.
happens? The team picks up. Okay,
Right.
I am the person with millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
but if my great nephew
Mm-hmm.
is starting a business and I
Mm-hmm.
see that he literally, like, say he's doing leather work, he's
Mm-hmm.
doing all the stitch, he done cut in leather, he's found a person who has the cows that he's getting his leather from, a natural source, and he's trying to sell organic and safe leather where the animal is either naturally in processing of
Hmm.
passing away, because there's people that want that type of stuff. They don't want the ones that where they take them to the slaughterhouse and stuff.
Right.
So he has all of this plan. He's ready to
Hmm.
go. Goes to his people. Hey, this is the plan that I have. All
Right.
right. We
A
have a
legit
family
plan.
fund and trust set to the side for funds for this. So what
Hmm.
I'm going to do is take this money. But the biggest problem we have right now is how many acres of land do we have
Have.
in Warrenton right now? Because people don't understand the
True.
dynamic of when some of the older people passed away that had
Hmm.
things in
In
order,
their will, or yeah, in
in
order
order, like
for this to
had the
happen.
siblings in check, all of that.
Right.
And even my grandma said the only way that this can proceed forward is maybe if the young generation, maybe
Hmm.
maybe our parents. I don't know if our parents
Hmm.
will do it, but maybe
Right.
us. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it takes for us to like, and I think me and one of our other cousins had discussed it. That's one of the head people on the seat.
Hmm.
I think with the eldest sister,
Hmm.
they did some things to make sure other people don't come in and take their property, because people are coming from other states that are
Right.
smarter than the older people and saying, oh, I know you got
Man.
50 acres of land out there, let me go ahead and get this amount, and they think they'll sell it for this amount of piece, not realizing that that's how a lot of people get their whole generational
Hmm.
blessings removed from the family,
Hmm.
because some older person did not pay attention to whatever they were signing, or some other person is being ignorant, because some of us young folks could be ignorant enough
Yeah,
to
you're
have something
absolutely
signed
right.
over. But this is the sad part where you didn't even know you knew I existed and stuff like that, but who I was and what, like,
Right.
how do we know in the dating process? How do we know who's who's if we're all at the same school? I didn't even know Shamika was my cousin, and to one of the other cousins told me. So I'm like, okay, I got like 5 cousins in this high school. I didn't
Hmm.
know that.
That
So
ain't
then it's like,
nothing.
and then how everyone
Um.
acts is like, oh, well, I'm not, just because my folks don't chill with your folks, or because my folks got this kind of house and you stay in a lower kind of house, I'm better than you. And because I didn't have children and you had children, I'm better than you. Or because I'm working at this job and it's like, it's so many levels of the family stuff. It's like, we feel so hard for the Jim Crow law as a bloodline to the point where it's in our DNA to whatever happened years ago.
Right.
It's so embedded into us where we're constantly at war with each other. But there has to take moments where I have to check my children so they can play with your children, so we can know that we're family and there's supposed to be a family dynamic. Now that I know you do certain things, I'm actually going to have to hit you up, because now I'm like, okay, he's AR, he's this and that. If I know any artists, I promote.
Right.
I feel bad because had I known all these things and communicated with you more and knew that I need to communicate with this side of my family, I would have been able to say, hey, cuzzo, I got a couple of artists, or I got a song I want to push, or I have this and that I can send to you, so that we can work for each other. And then you can be like, hey, I got some people that need help with their paperwork, or I got some,
Hmm.
I do taxes. There's so many people in our family that taxes are completely messed up. They trying to steal
Right.
everybody's kids. They doing all this other stuff. There's this particularly one person I have to get on every time and had to block my kid's social because they thought it was in their business to take.
To
But I am a professional. Why don't you come to me to help you?
And it's the
But
audacity of the family members. That's the
yeah,
most important thing. It's the entitlement. Like I said, I just moved into my house, and I'll be darned if you come over here and just 'cause you's a older cousin or a great aunt, you gonna take over my house. No, that's not gonna happen. See, when I was little, you used to could say whatever it is that you want to say because we was taught that we had to respect you. We was taught that we couldn't disrespect you in any form, shape, or fashion. But now that I'm older, I'm gonna tell you what's what. So, as you said about the land, my grandma, she has a small portion of land that I'm gonna start hunting on, this year, and we're gonna basically gonna use it for archery for some of the kids. So I'm gonna call that training ground A. Next to it is one of our It's not near any of the siblings. Listen what I'm telling you. It's not near none of the siblings. So I was talking to one of our older cousins about it. And next thing I know, I get a call from grandma talking about some. Did you tell such and such that I told you you can hunt on their land? I said, no. I told exactly who I was talking to, and I said, your uncle has land right down the road, and I wanted to know if I could hunt on that land over there too, because all of it literally goes into a loop. It's a big U.
Okay.
Yeah, all of it's a big U. Your grandma, our other aunties is just a big U. So I just want to know, could I hunt on it? These folks done told this lady that she said that I could hunt on all that land. I only can hunt on 20 acres. So wherever the other 500 came from, I don't know nothing about that. So it's a lot
Mhm.
of, when you think you're talking in confidence with cousins and stuff, they go back and tell other people some stuff that you ain't even said, which causes confusion. See, I'm not the type of person to just sit there and let you do that. I'm going to come to you and I'm going to tell you, hey, that one cool. I don't care if, again, I don't care if we at your mama's funeral. I'm going to tell you how I feel because I've watched my mom.
Then proceed to
I,
fish on the land afterwards. I forgot. Let's not forget.
amen.
He gonna tell you how he feel, and he gonna go
And
fishing
still
on your
do it.
land.
And
Okay,
want you
I'm
to
sorry.
say something
Carry
about it.
on.
And I want
Okay.
you, and I dare you to say something about it. I've watched my mom. My mom is mentally broke down from the dynamics of the family. All of these family curses, my mom has them. She do the same thing that her mom does. My auntie, she does the same thing that her kids do. It's all in the family. It's a generational curse that has to be broken. I thank God that I don't have those type problems. So I really thank him
I
for
feel like
that.
he placed our generations in to kind of help with ushering out
The
the
issues.
whole generational curses and breaking
Mm-hmm.
those chains that are holding the family down. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to see how we can build a dynamic because I see the key players that are the popular people
Mm-hmm.
that is getting appointed
Mm-hmm.
positions because they are available. Yes, I can say I don't have as much time as such and
Mm-hmm.
such name because
Mm-hmm.
I have other things going on that will not allow me to put that much time and effort to all of this. Like the family reunion, we have a big thing every year.
Right.
All of that. And the funny thing is the reason why I know a lot of people because folks had fights with other folks. You know how
Mm-hmm.
they would do. I'm coming in the morning time just so I can't see such and such who to
Such
who
and such.
and what to what
Right.
because they come in the evening time and they likes to drink and I don't want to be
Right.
around them and I want to see their heifer children. I'm like,
Right. And it's a lot of that. That's why when I have a gathering, I invite everybody. I don't have like even with family reunion. My mama, not family reunion, my cookout. My mama asked me, "Why you inviting them? I ain't coming." I asked her to repeat herself because I want to hear her say it again. I'm
can
not
you
saying
repeat
I
that?
I'm not saying that I abused my mama, but I was gonna give her a whispering of a lifetime if she had repeated that. Why you want all them folks at your house? Because it's my house. I can invite who I want. I don't have a problem with my great aunt. So what if her and my grandma is into it? What does that have to do with the children and grandchildren? I don't have to follow
I
along with
wanted
you.
to spend time with you guys. It doesn't matter if you guys like
Exactly.
each other or not. You don't like them, you
Right.
go to the other side of the room. But what you said that had me laughing the most
Mm-hmm.
because you said what? If you ain't did what when, don't be coming up in
We're
here
coming out
mad
here
20
doing
years.
that, and
Repeat that exact
yeah.
thing though. Hold on.
If you didn't handle it way back then, don't come up here thinking that you gonna handle it now. I got gloves. If you want to fight now, I got gloves. I can bring them out if y'all want to just go ahead and hash it out. But if you didn't fight her or him back then when it happened, don't come to my house with it. because it's stupid. That's just that Apple scenario.
Street
It's
rules is gonna be street rules even in the family. If you ain't nut when
exactly.
you buck 20 years ago, don't be hollering and talking about some nuts when you see them,
Well,
because you're not going, because at the end of the day
exactly.
you're not going to, you're just going to be mad, you're going to be just talking drama, and then if you feel
Hmm.
gully because you got a couple of liquid courage drinks in your system, all you're going to do is deal with Richmond County and
Hmm.
sheriff at the end of
And
the
not
day. So
and
let's not
not me
have
no
that on
more.
your record. And
So
then
you
yeah,
know,
you'll be banned from my house, because I'll give you one try. You can come to my house one time,
I
and then
tell
that's it.
I tell people all the time, I don't break up fights with family members. They want to kill each other. Go
You're
ahead, but
grown.
you better not mess up nothing at my house. Or you gonna pay, or you gonna see me in court. I'm gonna get my retribution. I'm gonna get it. One way or another.
I have insurance, and with this homeowner insurance, I will file a claim, and they, when they ask me, did you take your cousin? Because you know they do that. They'll ask you, did you
Hmm.
take that person that you thought that did whatever in your household? Did you take them? Oh,
Of
here's the
course.
paper. What you need? You want the whole doc? I'll give you the doc number, the website
Documented.
to the
And the number, the
one
judge's
second.
name.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
I
got it.
think I got a video of me calling the cops on them. So yes, I did that.
Yeah, somebody
And
was
the thing is,
recording.
like, people get the thing with the family that I don't understand, and this could be immediate. I'm talking about from your child all the
Mm-hmm.
way to great, great, great.
Mm-hmm.
Disrespect and doing things of an evil intent or a nature that where you need to be apprehended.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of people get upset about that because they be like, "Oh, why you call the cops on such and such, or why you did this and why you did that." And people don't
Yes.
understand, for moments like you're at my house and you're fighting, you're belligerent. I
Mm-hmm.
am not in the position, nor do I have the authority to calm you down. It's not my position.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to call authorities, even if they just walk away and say everybody's fine, but they get upset because some folks be having warrants and be hiding from
Mm-hmm.
cops, coming to
Mm-hmm.
cookouts, and they be mad. I'm like, well, you should know your position. You don't go to the club causing no issues if you're
Knowing
hiding. If you're
exactly.
hiding, you going so
Like,
have that same respect when you walk in my house, and that goes for business. We don't get the business respect because we're small business and we're family. They know us. Even
and
my
they
friends and family
expect
do this to
free.
me. It's
They
free.
expect free.
Or if things don't work, if they don't understand the process, like for taxes, it's a whole different headache. If you don't understand that, you got to wait for your paperwork. If you file in past years, sometimes they take a minute. If you're working on an issue where you had a problem, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
a
or
21-day refund if we're doing the other harder tax, because I do tax debt. I do debt reduction, and I resolve issues. So these are not regular tax returns where I'm just putting in paperwork and you're just giving me a W-2. These are people that are having businesses and having other issues. So I do all of that. A lot of people
hmm
unfortunately believe microwave method. 3 minutes
right.
is
It's
done.
supposed to happen.
No, baby, it
Yeah.
don't work like that.
Yeah, and it's sad because you go out your way to help such family members, and they will spit in your face, throw dirt on your name, and all of this stuff, and still have to turn around, even in that same inch, to ask you for help again. And
Be
it's
like, yeah, I know
like,
I just trashed your name, and I'm sorry, but can I please get you to help me, please?
what am I supposed to do with this? Do I keep
Nothing.
helping or what? And it's like, see, that's the
You
mental
gotta learn the
toll.
art like I did. It's hard because I hate to even say it like this. I am a people pleaser to a certain degree. I like
Mm-hmm.
to see people happy, and that is not even if it comes from me or if it's from me. I just genuinely, like, I don't like what's wrong? Why you sad? So it's hard for someone that is in business and believe in passion in people and what they do and what their job is actually their passion. It's hard for people like us to
Mm-hmm.
explain to people that are friends and family that I am
Mm-hmm.
just like the H&R Block. I am just like when you walk up into that record label and you're looking to speak to the ARs and you're looking to get your record heard and you're looking to, I am that, just because I'm not walking around and you know that I am the CEO of that corporation, and I have
Corporation, yeah.
millions and millions of people. You should, if anything, and I'm going to say this to our viewers and listeners, if you are a family member or a friend, if anything, what you should do with that family member or friend that has a business, know that they're working very hard. We have so much against us every day where it's hard for us to do our business. So if we're putting our time and attention to assist you, please just
Mm-hmm.
trust that we're doing the best that we can. So that's
Right.
pretty much it. On the business and the family aspect, we can dive and dig into it a little bit more at another time. Again, I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
take too much of your time because I know you have a billion of other things to do today, but I do greatly appreciate you. And
Hey, baby.
as you guys see, the man on the home front, the father, okay, and everything
Hey, I
is
had to make sure they was all right, man. They was quiet. They was
that's
too
that good
quiet.
daddy right now.
You know, they too quiet. What that mean? They doing something they ain't got
I'm gonna
no
send you a
business.
link to this security thing that I got now that helps me a lot. Especially like if you're doing meetings and stuff like that to kind of help you like still keep eye but
A
still handle
tab
your
on them.
business thing. Yeah, it
I
helps a lot. I'll
really
send you the link.
appreciate that
And I'll drop it for
because
everyone. So if you guys need a link for a good security camera, I love this app. It's by Tap O, but I will definitely drop the link in the description as well with Priest app that he has for your music so to get your music out there, and then
oh
any
yeah,
other tidbits that any other details, his Facebook link, so you guys can message him if you are interested in the ministry side, and if you are in the local area of the Savannah Riverside area near Augusta, Georgia, to help the youth. And again, I really thank you so much for everything, for the time, all the tidbits that you've given us. I have a lot in my arsenal to provide to other people that is looking for this information. Plus, on top of that, it's always good to catch up with my cousin. We're going to have to call this family time. I don't know. I might have to have
right.
another segment just calling
Oh
family
yeah,
talk. So just, on the business, the personal,
because
and the family
I
dynamic of life.
feel I feel as that family subject needs to be hit more because it's a lot. Maybe even to some of the listeners, it's a lot that's going on in your family, and it just needs to be said. It has to be said for it to change. It has to be brought to light because
That is true.
it's a lot of things that happens to our female cousins, our mothers, our aunties that don't be said enough. Even our male cousins that don't be said and it be swept up under the rug. And then everybody wonder why these people are having mental breakdowns, why they're in and out of rehabs, why they are subject for court and stuff like that. It all starts in the family. I think my first kiss was a family member, so
And we'll dive into that. We'll do it this way. How about we do
oh,
this? We'll table everything on
okay.
that subject with the family
Mm,
dynamic here
mm-hmm.
so we can pick it back up on our next episode. So you
Okay.
guys, our next episode will be family ties. That's how we're going to call
Yes.
it. I'm going to mark it
Family
here as I
ties.
record. And with family ties, we're going to go into more of a deeper conversation in dealing with family. And believe me, I have a lot I could say about that. And with me being
Ooh,
considered the blackest sheep, probably out of all of you guys,
not as black as me.
I don't know. I feel like I can take you out the ring on that one. I really feel like I can. To be honest with you, and you know why? You know
Yeah.
why, and you know how. The sad part is the truth is not as bad as what the lies are being put out there. And it's very unfortunate. And the reason why I'm tabling this because I have to give it the time and the attention and the respect that the conversation
Needs
deserves.
to have. Yeah, oh yeah. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So we'll dive into that next time. But to wrap this episode up, I just want to thank you so much for joining in today, giving me a little tidbit of your life. I would like to have you back. We're going to dive you
Thank you
back
for
in more into
having me,
more different
man.
things.
Yeah.
I will keep this going on for another 2 hours, but I know we both got stuff to do. So I'm going to
Oh yeah.
shush up,
Yeah.
and I just want to thank you for coming in. But before we go, is there anything, as a matter of fact, before we go, can you do me one thing? There
What's that?
is one segment that we're doing here on Ravon Unfiltered is we're doing the I am not your blank. This is the segment where do you want to what do you want to tell someone in the job and profession that you do that what you are not and what you don't do. An example, let's say if you're in the field of a Walmart cashier, I'm your cashier, I'm not your coupon clipper. So bring your coupon clipped in and ready to be given to me at the register, because you know how some people are. So with that premise in mind, with the business
I've
that
been
you do,
waiting. Hmm.
what are
Um,
you and what are you not? I'm gonna let you breathe on that one.
okay. If I am your manager, I handle management. Management is promotion. Management, if there are any hotels and stuff that need to be booked, flights need to be booked, that's my job. Your job is to make sure you get there on time. Because whether you're there or not, I'm going to go. I am your manager, not your babysitter. We are grown. If you can't do certain things, it needs to be known then. Don't wait until the day before the priest, I can't make it. Because see, then you have created a hostile work environment and I'm going to be the hostile one. So yeah, real simple
Okay.
rules. Do what you got to do and I will help you, especially if I'm already paying for it.
Hmm.
And that's a real quick way to tick me off if I done paid $1,000 for room and board and a flight, and you talking about some you can't make it to Atlanta, Delta. We're gonna have to fight. I'm sorry.
You better
We're
hop
gonna have to fight.
on that
And
highway,
I was
285/20. You better make it from Augusta. I would make it to that airport so fast. See, that's why if
oh
when I
man.
was doing business, when I was doing music, I wish I
Mhm.
had you. Like that would have been perfect. So you are their manager and
Man.
not their babysitter. So everyone here
Right.
on Ravon Unfiltered, I am blank and not your blank. In your profession, he is your manager and not your babysitter. I thank you so much
Amen.
for adding that tidbit and breaking that down. I'm definitely going to use that as a clip. So it's going to be funny. It's going to be fun, but I love it. Also,
Okay.
I'm going to send you, I'm gonna need you to send me a picture because I have this backdrop that I have. And what I do is I'll be
Okay.
like, such and such was here. So
Okay.
I'll put priest was here and then I'll have your picture. So one of the pictures that you love the best, we'll put that you was here on the Ravon Unfiltered show. But until next time,
I have a
everybody, I
fish
thank you
in my
so much
hand.
for that. Will be nice. I'll put you on the wall. Get your
Okay.
biggest game prize and show me that picture. Let's see him and his hunting skills. You think he got some hunting skills, y'all? I think he do. I be looking at his little Facebook videos. I be like, he look like he could fish a little bit. Look at Priest.
Oh,
But
you're
we
so
will catch you
funny.
guys next time. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I thank you so much for tuning in to Ravon Unfiltered. I hope everyone have a blessed day. And again, this is our safe place to talk and chat. And we will see you again. Thank you so much for tuning in to Ravon
Cheers.
Unfiltered. Have a wonderful day and thank you so much for watching Ravon Unfiltered.